Storytime from Anonymous. I was at my friend's lake. A few of my friends and I were all staying there. We were having a great time and swimming a lot. Her mom had set up a tent for us to sleep in because we wanted to be really outdoorsy and sleep outside. It was getting pretty late and we were all getting really tired, so we went into the tent and started to get settled. We just chilled until my friend Sophia said, "We should tell scary stories." I agreed and we all went around telling scary stories. Another one of my friends, Callie, was there. It was her turn to tell the story. She told us that her mom told her this story. Side note, we were at her lake house. So she started telling us the story about this old lady who lived around here, and how she would walk around and look for kids. It didn't sound scary at first, but then Callie said she would eat the kids. Callie told us that the only way to get away from the old lady was to jump in the lake, 'cause she couldn't swim. After her story, everyone was kind of freaked out. About an hour later, everyone started to go to sleep. Right as I was drifting off to sleep, I heard footsteps. My eyes shot open. I immediately thought, is it the old lady? I looked around and I noticed that everyone was awake. Did y'all hear that? I asked. They nodded. I listened closely and I heard a humming. Then our tent started to shake. Everyone started to scream. "It's the granny!" I yelled. "We need to go to the lake." In an instant, everyone ran out of the tent and towards the lake. It was super dark and late, so it was hard to see. I didn't know which way to go. I was running in circles and tried to look for the lake. I was super tired and disoriented and tried to make sense of what I was looking at. Finally, I saw the dock. I ran up it and saw a bunch of my friends there too. "We have to jump," Callie said. "Granny's going to get us if we don't." So we all jumped. The water was ice cold. I hid underneath the dock. I was so scared. I called out people's names until finally I saw Callie. She was in tears. I tried to comfort her. She was saying that she didn't think that the story was actually true. I told her that everything was going to be fine and that we needed to find everyone else. I was getting really tired from treading water, and I was freezing. Then I found some other girls, Francie, Mary, and Georgia. They all seemed to be in a panic. "Where's everyone else?" I asked. "I don't know. We all just jumped into the water," Francie said. There were still a few rafts in the water from when we were playing earlier. We got on them. It was too dark to try to get out of the water, so we waited until the morning. I woke up, and I had fallen asleep on Callie. We were on a big water mat. I looked around and saw that all the girls were on the mat too. Most of them were asleep. I woke everyone up and told them that we should probably get onto the land. So we all swam to the ladder on the dock. Once we got onto dry land, Callie ran into the house and went to her parents' room. We followed her. When we told them what happened, she told them what happened, and they started laughing. They said that they heard us telling the story and wanted to scare us. We were so mad. The end.
Pardon the hair. I just took it out of my bun. Anyway, so I know everyone's like, what happened? What happened? What happened? And I did not mean to leave y'all hanging on that note, which is you hear the click. So, this is basically what happened. I'm gonna kind of low-key reenact it. But essentially, alright, so for legal purposes, his name is gonna be Dylan. Alright, now I had a major crush on this kid, and we've known each other up to that point for a couple years, because we went to the same elementary school together. We transferred to the other same school, and it was pretty cool. And so just leading up to that, it wasn't going well for him. I know his parents were going through some shit. The classic, middle school people oh, you're the quiet kid, ha 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 ha, bullying and stuff like that. PSA, don't bully people, cause shit will happen once they break. So all jokes aside, he walks in one day and he's quieter than usual. A typical quiet kid, has his hood up, sits in the corner, just listening to, it was popular back when I was in middle school. Panic at Disco, I Write Things Not Tragedies, fucking fire. Anyways, so I could walk over. I'm hey bud, you're not doing too good. You sure you're good? Yeah, I'm fine. I'm are you sure? Are you positive? Yeah, I'm fine. And I could tell the kid wasn't fine, but naivety is a wondrous thing. Sometimes. Anyways, so it was like, we had history together. So it was the last period of the day. And he's just like, hey, Dominique. And then, no, that was before I knew I was non-binary. Anyways, he's like, hey, do you need to use the restroom? What? No, I don't. He's like, are you sure you don't need to go? I'm like, are you asking me or are you telling me? I'm telling you to go to the bathroom. Okay. And then that's when the countdown started. I walked up and I was making my way towards the front of the classroom to, to get out to go to the hallway to use the bathroom. And I heard it. I'm like, oh, that's no good. And the only reason why I actually recognized it was because I regularly go shooting with my family. I actually was introduced to my father's guns. He has a couple. We're not going to get into that. But I recognized it. I'm like, whoa, that's no good. So I walked back over. I'm like, dude, are you good? And he's like, get out of my face. I'm like, after I hear the initial, I run my ass back over to Dylan. I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, you don't know what you're talking about. Really, Dylan? Because after what I just heard, I heard a little, and I know those are not allowed at school. And my teacher, she was very oblivious, bless her heart. But she's like, what's going on over there? I don't know why I made a bridge, but that's where we're going to go. What's going on over there? Nothing, Mrs. Harrington. Everything's fine. I'm just helping out Dylan with something. He's just not feeling good. Are you sure? Yes, I'm sure. And he's just sitting there staring at me like daggers in the eyes. He's like, you don't want to fucking do this. I've had it up to here with the bullies, with the comments, with my parents, and he was spilling out everything to me, and I'm not going to tell him that. I'm not going to say everything because, that's his business. And then he starts looking at me. He looks down, at his hand was in the backpack, ready to, hey, And I look at him, I'm like, Dylan, my friend, I'm not going to let you do this. Because one, it's not worth it. And number two, I can't stand to lose another friend. Okay? I'm not gonna let you do this. So what we're gonna do is that we're gonna take your backpack, we're gonna go up to the principal, and we're gonna figure this out together, okay? And he's sitting there, and he's almost crying at this point. He has tears so softly running down his face. Miss Harrington walks up, Mr. Crab style. What's going on? Why is you crying? And then that's when he broke. He's like, Mrs. Harrington, I had brought for TikTok purposes, a shooty bang bang to school. And I was planning on ending my life here today. And the entire class was like, whoa, what? Oh my God. And they started freaking out. And Miss Harrington's like, what are you talking about? You can't do that. And I'm like, Mrs. Harrington, please. He's not okay. Just let me take care of him, okay? You have no business talking about like this. I don't know what you're doing. This is not safe. We need to call the police. No, Mrs. Harrington, please. He is on the verge of snapping. He just calmed down. You need to calm down, please. And it's the time where I'm getting scared. After Miss Harrington has her big freak out, look, what's going on? We need to call the police. We need to call the police. And the kids, they're freaking out. They're hiding under the desk. They're screaming. And I'm like, hey, everybody just needs to calm the fuck down. Wait, I need to stop. Miss Harrington, this is not the time. Okay? I'm gonna take Dylan and we're gonna go to the principal. Alright? We're gonna go to the principal and we're gonna figure this stuff out. Because he's not okay. And Dylan, I saw 3 things in this kid's eyes. The fear, the rage, and the remorse. Fear, rage, and remorse. Because he knew that he was scared to do what he wanted to do. He had the anger and the fire in order to do it. But once I called him out on it, he felt so guilty. He didn't know what to do. And when I looked back at him, he had dropped the shooty bang bang back into his bag, and he had his head on his desk, and he was bawling his eyes out, saying, I'm so sorry, I shouldn't have done this, and he was freaking out. Give me a second. And that's what I exactly did. I helped him pick up his bag. I helped him up. Everyone in the classroom was like still like freaking out and wigged out and stressed out like that, and I understand that shit's scary. But when I tell you the amount of, well, it was a mixture. It was between hate and you are our hero. Thank you so much for preventing this. Like, no. I reached out to a friend in need when no one else would listen to him. Okay. We went to the principal. Hey, Principal Fishbach, this is what's going on. And, this is what happened. I want to let you know that X, Y, and Z had just happened. We just need to get his parents here, and we need to get him help. And that's exactly what happened. The way that they handled it was very, very professional. They were like, oh my god, you're such a fucking psycho. Like, no, they actually cared. It's probably the one time I've ever seen a school do something right in public school. Alright? And to this day, I still have not heard from Dylan. I think they moved him up to, like, Connecticut. And he's still getting help to this day. Because what he did in middle school was so bad.
So the question that we're all wondering is, where is Gabby Petito? So as you guys have been seeing all over your For You page, people have been looking for Gabby Petito. She is a 22-year-old girl that was reported missing on September 11th. She was on a trip across the country with her fiance, and he came back without her. So let's go through all the information that we have together right now. Gabby was originally from Blue Point on Long Island, while Brian was from Northport, Florida. They ended up attending high school together in Bayport Blue Point High School, and they were friends for years before they ever started dating. But in March of 2019, they ended up actually getting together. Not too long after they started dating, Gabby actually moved back to his home with him in Northport. It's really important to note that she had a good relationship with her family. She would consistently talk to them. This was not a situation in which she was trying to get away. After this, in July of 2020, Brian ended up proposing to Gabby. As you can see from this Instagram post right here, they traveled back to go see her brother for his graduation. And both of them had a dream of experiencing van life, vlogging, going across the country, and seeing a variety of places. So Gabby Petito and Brian Laundrie really wanted to accomplish this dream of seeing a variety of places across the country. They planned on going to a number of places and then ending the trip in Oregon. So on July 2nd of 2021, they departed from Blue Point, New York. And they were traveling in this 2012 Ford Transit van, and it seems to be modified slightly to serve as a camper as well. The couple was extremely active on social media. As you can see from their Instagrams, they document a lot of this trip. Here she is July 4th at Monument Rocks National Landmark in Kansas. And here's a photo he took that day sitting on top of the van. On August 12th, you can see that they're at Arches National Park in Utah. And on this exact same day, the police were notified with a domestic incident involving Gabby and Brian. The police body cam footage was released. And the report in summary said that this witness named Christopher stated he saw this couple engage in an altercation, in which the male walked away so that he could calm down, but the female did not want to be separated. The witness said that she began slapping him, and Brian, in response, grabbed her face and pushed her back. Then he tried to lock her out of the van, but she found her way in. They drove off from the scene, and the police found them later. So after the police were called on Gabby Petito and Brian Laundrie, it took a while for the police to catch up to the couple, and they initiated a traffic stop near Arches National Park. As they pulled them over, the vehicle hit a curb. In the police footage, you can see that Brian was driving and that Gabby was visibly in tears. I'm going to include all these clips on my YouTube video, but in this video, Gabby explained that she was suffering from mental health problems due to anxiety and OCD and stress. Brian also explained that he has anxiety as well, and they were both having a tough time getting along because of it. She was also expressing in the video that she quit her job so that she can vlog, and she wasn't feeling like he thought she could do it. The police honestly handled the situation very well and determined that it was a mental health crisis instead of a criminal case. There were no charges made, and Gabby stayed with the van that night while Brian was taken to a hotel. This was so that they could be separated. On August 19th, they ended up releasing this YouTube channel video. It's called Nomadic Static, and I'll also be linking clips of this in my YouTube video as well. It's basically a montage of their travels across the US. The last time she FaceTimes her mom and her last Instagram post is August 25th. So looking at Gabby's last Instagram post, you can see how abnormal it is from the rest of her captions. Even her captions that are really small include hashtags or little smiley faces. Her mom continued to hear from her over text message up until August 30th, but she is not 100% convinced that that was from Gabby. Brian returned to Florida on September 1st alone with no Gabby and almost immediately got an attorney. On September 11th, she was reported missing and the police seized the vehicle. On September 14th, Brian released this statement, which is essentially him not talking to the family or the media and just wishing them the best of luck in finding her. I recently spoke with a family friend of Gabby's, and she said she comes from a really great family and this would unlikely be a runaway situation. She also sent me this picture from Brian's page, which he temporarily had down for a bit, and it just gives very weird vibes. The family believes she's still out there somewhere, and someone has to know something, so it's very important to be sharing these videos, and the police have asked for the public's help. Make sure to take notes of her tattoos because someone has to know something. I have way more to say about this case. The police have not ruled out another case being a potential connection. I will be doing a full analysis on my YouTube. As of tonight, as of just finishing up this makeup look, Brian Laundrie is nowhere to be found. This happened about 12 hours after Miranda Baker's video had been posted. In this video, she shares allegedly that she picked up Brian hitchhiking alone in Grand Teton National Park. This was where Gabby was last seen. About 12 hours after this, Brian's lawyer says that he has no idea where he's at. Everything started blowing up, saying Brian is missing, and how did the police lose Brian out of their sights? I have been watching the live search of Brian's home, and everybody was chanting outside, "Where is Gabby?" The parents of Gabby ended up releasing a statement tonight, saying to remember that Gabby is the one that is missing and Brian is the one who is hiding. All these updates are happening every hour on the hour, so I'm going to do my best to keep you guys as updated as possible. My YouTube video goes a lot deeper into the backstory if you guys want to go watch that. But someone has to know something. After talking to a family friend of Gabby's, she describes her as being very free-spirited. She's adventurous and full of so much life and so much love. Let's keep doing what we can in order to solve this case.